Daddy! Daddy! Where are you, Daddy? Don't leave me here! Daddy! Please! I can't find Mommy either! Don't leave me alone! Please? Please, Daddy. Please, Daddy.
Oh. She got a sack. She spiked the drink with some sort of sleeping pill. No wonder they call her the Professor. Whew. But that was a rash move. Perhaps she realized that she's finally crossed the point of no return. Or... We need to head to the Clarksons at once before it's too late. We can still stop this. Has a symbol. It's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decompose. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give someone a kiss. Anyway, back to Duluth. They have a famous lift bridge there called the Aerial Lift Bridge. The lift bridge here is the first one we've seen since then, but this one looks a lot smaller than the Aerial Lift Bridge. Its smaller size was most likely chosen due to the width of the river and the sea level of this area. The height and structure of a bridge is what determines which sort of boats can travel down the river. Normal bridges' base heights are set at a higher point so that boats can freely pass underneath them. But I imagine it would be difficult to create a bridge with a large arch here due to the river width and the sea level. That's why we're seeing all these mobile bridges, such as lift bridges and drawbridges around here. As far as Louisiana goes, it appears that they've built mobile bridges over most of the bayous. Fascinating, isn't it, Zach? So many different types of bridges. I'm curious to learn even more about bridges now. Let's do some detailed research next time we get the chance. Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the San Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe... Don't mind me, Zach. This is how I wake myself up. Zach, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one. Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. This town sure is peaceful, Zach. Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zach? If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decompose. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give someone a kiss. Anyway, back to Duluth. They have a famous lift bridge there called the Aerial Lift Bridge. The lift bridge here is the first one we've seen since then, but this one looks a lot smaller than the Aerial Lift Bridge. Its smaller size was most likely chosen due to the width of the river and the sea level of this area. The height and structure of a bridge is what determines which sort of boats can travel down the river. Normal bridges' base heights are set at a higher point so that boats can freely pass underneath them. But I imagine it would be difficult to create a bridge with a large arch here due to the river width and the sea level. That's why we're seeing all these mobile bridges, such as lift bridges and drawbridges around here. As far as Louisiana goes, it appears that they've built... Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach. streets in New Orleans were... Zach, it's a singularity. The Oracle was right on the mark. The mouth to the other world is open, ready to swallow us alive. I think this case is finally starting to come together. Here we go again, Zach. You're as excited as I am, aren't you? You don't have to explain everything. No need for words right now. Not while this eccentric, provocative experience is begging us to come inside. Zach, do you feel it? Something happened here. It's the same feeling I got when we entered the place where Lise died. Professor R, Lena, came in here alone. It looks like nothing but a suicide attempt to me. Did she have some trick up her sleeve? Zach, that's a miniature bomb. Lena must have set it here. Is this her trump card? It looks pretty elaborate. Another accolade for the professor. She also displayed expert precision when she used that fire to make my cocktail. Her wisdom gave birth to Sang Rouge. She must also have an advanced understanding of chemistry. I just hope she hasn't laid any other traps for us up ahead.
Now you decide to come back, huh? What for? I know you've been hiding from me, planning God knows what. Too bad it ain't gonna amount to anything. It don't matter what you do. The Clarkson family is already on its last legs. After only a single century, we're on the verge of losing all that power our ancestors built up for us. Ever since the day you left home, that was the beginning of the end.
They certainly look a little rough around the edges. Perhaps we should just call them the Clarkson gang. They're holding their weapons like total amateurs, which means they must not have had any formal training. Even if they came rushing in all at once, they'd still be no match for us. Maybe the Clarksons aren't as fearsome as the rumors make them out to be. Or perhaps they've fallen into such a decline that they can't even manage their own allies any longer.
Yes, I abandoned my family, but that has nothing to do with the Clarksons' downfall. It's much more complicated than that.
Oh, I agree. It's a hell of a lot more complicated. Just look at these assholes. They're so goddamn stupid. They won't even shit unless I tell them to do it. And you know what? Back in the old days, that was A-okay. Don't like someone? Beat the piss out of them. Need something? Steal it from the sucker next door. Life was so much simpler back then. And time flowed in proper accordance with human behavior. But now... it's all so complicated now. Everything's changed.
Philip J. Clarkson, the horrible father that Professor R spoke of. Of course, he looks perfectly calm. It's hard to believe that it's only my second time seeing him. He's an overwhelming man, Zach.
The legacy of the Clarksons is like a candle in the wind, a sad vestige of what it used to be. But it's not completely dead yet.
So what? You came here to snuff it out yourself?
Oh, no. I didn't come to snuff anything out. I came to make it burn red once more.
What in hell is with you? That red powder finally make you lose your mind?
That face, Zack. She looks so calm and collected. Perhaps she intended to take her own life after she murdered Philip. But that wouldn't solve anything. We know how calculating she is. Surely she must have understood that.
Just like you said, times have changed. You've gotten old. Your power is waning. But I'm not going to let things end here. After you and all the old tumors die, the goddess will take control of Lucare, and all of Louisiana for that matter. The goddess of fertility, with all her newfound might.
And who's that supposed to be? You? Ha! That's a good one. You know, you're just as dumb as everyone else. You never see things for how they really are. Oh, no. Here, go on. Take my life. You can have it. Do whatever you want with me. But don't you forget. That's Clarkson blood you got running through those veins. Oh, you took the long way to it. But it looks like you be inheriting our legacy after all. Just like I always wanted you to.
Oh, I won't be inheriting anything.
What?
I'm not the goddess of fertility either.
Well, then...
But I'm still powerful.
Professor R fought hard in this hall. And the last gunshot we heard sounded ominous, Zack. Everything she says seems to hint at some deeper meaning. The goddess of fertility taking over all of Louisiana with her newfound power? The details elude me, but she's clearly plotting something big. But if she dies here, she'll never be able to complete it. Why risk it then? Oh well. Let's continue on, Zack. I'm sure we'll find the answer once we reach the inner sanctum.
Let me control you. Let me own you. You are free.
Snip, snip, snip.